Let's clear things up. For those of you who are still wondering why your family members, co-workers, friends, relatives, and others don't want to hang out with, have dinner with, go to places with, have conversations with, or in general be around you, this is why. This is not going to go over all of the court-documented evidence, and public evidence, and pictures, and tapes, and video, and receipts, and paper trails that has already been out over the years, because frankly we know you are not interested in evidence or information. And we know you automatically shut down anytime you are proven wrong. This is specific to the overarching reasons why you are not a good person, why you are not safe to have children around, and why you are not emotionally stable enough as an adult to pretend your opinion matters at all. Racism, misogyny, homophobia, sexism, xenophobia, bigotry, fascism, even in the past, when humans were okay with it, was never a good thing to aspire toward, and was still evil and hate-filled, even back then. These reasons are given in an order of most disgusting to least disgusting, but I will remind you that they are all almost equally disgusting as a human being. 1. You're a child rape supporter because you vote for child rapists and Epstein clients, because you give money and donations to child rapists and Epstein clients, because you go to rallies for child rapists and Epstein clients, and because you ignore court-documented evidence for child rapists and Epstein clients. 2. You support forcing raped children to give birth, because you support bills that literally force raped children to give birth, because you support imprisoning doctors that give life-saving medical care if that care saves the mother, because you support bills allowing child rapists to marry the children that they raped, and because at every chance you have gotten, you have stopped states from requiring an age of 18 to marry because you want to still be able to marry children. 3. You're a Nazi supporter because you use Nazi symbology at your rallies and conventions, because you have Nazi speakers speaking at your rallies and conventions, because you enjoy vilifying minority groups as the reason for all of your problems in life, because you don't want to admit that you're the reason for all your problems in life, and because you encourage or like that your people do seghales, which if you don't know are Nazi salutes on TV. 4. You encourage killing or incarcerating your political opponents, because you constantly call for political violence against people who have different views than you do, because you constantly say that your perceived enemies should be beat or murdered, because you wish to imprison immigrants and U.S. citizens illegally based on their beliefs or race, and because you illegally suspended due process for immigrants in America so that you could send them to a foreign death camp. 5. You encourage easier ways for students in schools to be victims of school shootings, because you don't even want states to abide by current federal law for selling guns, because you have stopped any gun legislation that makes it harder to do school shootings since school shootings started happening, because you don't want states to have gun safety or storage laws that would minimize school shooter access to guns, because you don't prosecute or imprison police officers that stand around and let a school shooter murder people in a school, even though those police officers outnumber them 400 to 1. 6. You are a homophobe, or a misogynist, or a racist, and you want everyone to be like that, because you hate LGBTQ+ people having the same human rights as you, because you hate women having the same human rights as you, because you hate non-white people having the same human rights of you, because you constantly dismiss your hate for these groups as it was a different time back then, instead of just admitting that you're just an awful and disgusting human being, and because you have a need to vilify some minority groups and use them as a scapegoat to blame all of your problems on. 7. You are just a snowflake who can't handle critical thinking skills or regular adult life, because anything that is scientifically based evidence is automatically incorrect or misinterpreted, while only your nonsensical dementia-addled explanations are facts. Because anytime you are met with an opposing position, instead of trying to poke holes in it or give evidence to the contrary, you just shut down and have to change the subject or start yelling conspiracy theories until people stop talking to you. You call blatant lies and verifiably incorrect information just alternative facts. and you tell everyone else to get their news and information from more than one place, then you specifically only get your news and information from one place that is telling you what to think so that you don't have to. Every one of these things in some way goes against basic human rights that you say you should have. And that's really the problem here, is that normal good people believe every human should have the same human rights as anyone else. It's only you that says only some humans should have human rights while others should not. You want human rights afforded to yourself and your social class alone, while everyone else is supposed to just provide for you and appease your whims. You need a villain in your life to blame all of your bad choices and outcomes on, because if you had to admit that you are the one that caused your own problems in life, then you would also have to admit that you wasted your life on hatred and anger because you remained too ignorant to the ability to change it yourself. Your Bible literally tells all believers of God to love thy neighbor, feed the poor, heal the sick, and welcome the stranger. These are all things that you hate and try to stop in your own communities every chance you get. You are literally attempting to go against your own belief system laid out in your own holy book. Ironically, this same text tells you how to live as a better person, but it also details where people with your personality traits go if you don't follow what your book tells you. Based on the last 10 years, you were obviously a great follower. You were great at blindly following orders, just like the Nazis who tried to blame their murder and atrocities on orders from above. So it's always ironic to watch religious zealots live their lives going against their own religious texts. Any one of these things would make you a disgusting excuse for a human being, but you most likely are several of these things all at once, if not all of these things. We as real human beings and good people don't want to have repeated exposure to your hate and disrespect. We don't want to tolerate racism, misogyny, homophobia, xenophobia, or any of the other hate that you want to constantly spew. We have lost trust in you as a human being, and don't want your disgusting personality and human weakness infecting offspring of future generations. We don't want the constant mental drain of pretending to care about your disgusting views or beliefs. You are not a serious person or a good person. You are a waste of time, energy, and resources, and it escapes every one of us as to how you can be alive on this earth for so long and not actually grow or evolve at all. You try to play nice and act nice to people's faces, but only people in your friend and family group. To others outside of your cliques, you don't believe they should have the same human rights as you. You are a disgusting and evil person based on what you have supported or said that you support. And good people don't want your evil intent and aspirations to continue to affect the offspring and future of the human race. You are a child rape supporter. You are a traitor to the United States Constitution. You are attempting to try to make future generations as hateful and spiteful as you. You are not a serious person when having a conversation or even defending your own beliefs. And you have fallen into a habit of supporting evil because you were too afraid of losing your hateful past. We are all tired human beings just trying to survive. Whatever this life is and may be, we are all trying to learn and grow from it during the very short time that we have here. And we don't want to waste what little time we have on hateful creatures like you. No one cares to appease your hate anymore. No one cares to try to have a conversation with you anymore. No one cares to pretend like you are a good person anymore. So you can just fuck all the way off. It's unfortunate that during an entire lifetime, you as a capable human being weren't able to learn anything. Good luck in your afterlife. You may want to pack a fire extinguisher. This is why.